Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today is our college football preview as we preview the LSU Tigers of 2020. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me today is two very talented gentlemen that's going to help me break down LSU. The first gentleman was a first-round selection in the 1981 NFL Draft by way of Florida State University. 25th selection overall, played 12 years in the league. My man, Mr. Bobby Butler. The other gentleman is one of the most talented, controversial, high-energy football coaches in the Clayton County, Atlanta metro area. He's coached at Mount Zion, Riverdale High School, Lovejoy, and Dutchtown. The very talented Mr. Kevin the Bull Jones. So if you like the video today, please comment and share it as we're going to break down the LSU Tigers. Mr. Kevin Jones, you first up. The reason I'm giving you the floor, sir, because they did dethrone your University of Alabama Crimson Tide. So I'm not trying to start nothing today, but I'm trying to keep the show in a good spirit. And I know you're going to get LSU because Ed Orgeron did a lot of talking last year.
Well, listen, let me start off by saying kudos to, I have to congratulate when success is done, especially the right way. So hats off to what LSU did. I mean, I make no bones about that, even though Tua fumbled that ball and the game went crazy after that. He fumbled that ball. But here's what you have with LSU. You have a program that had, I don't want to call it a Cinderella season. I call it a Hollywood script because it was a perfect scenario. 15-0 guys is 15-0. Right. Okay, so let's tip our hat off for them to congratulate them on me personally on what they did, because they excelled in every level, every phase of the game. Okay, they excelled. They made everything happen the right way. And all this, I don't want to say all the stars aligned, all the plays aligned, and the coaches aligned. And when the coaches and players are all on the same page, that's what you have. So with that being said, that was the 2019 season. Okay, they had an outstanding recruiting class. It was number 4 nationally. They stole a couple of kids out of Georgia that were top players. The big tight end, Arik Gilbert, big tight end out of Marietta High School, Gatorade Player of the Year. That usually doesn't go to a tight end, but he's a tight end / receiver / Mr. Do-It-All. And he ended up down there in the Bayou. So evidently, LSU did something right. So here's what I look at. From a coaching standpoint, they got 3 returners on offense. They got 5 returners on defense. Those 3 guys on offense that are coming back, one of them is not a quarterback. They're going to open up the helm this fall with a new guy slinging the ball around. Miles Brannon supposedly is the person. But, once again, we're talking about not having 15 days of spring practice with 3 scrimmages. So, yes, he's probably penciled in to be the starter. But now you look at a possibility where there might be some competition in the fall whenever they get back on the field and go to work. Brad Johnson, former standout player, longtime quarterback in the NFL. His son, Max Johnson, from North Georgia, is there now as a quarterback as well. So there's some work to be done on the offensive side of the ball. Gone is Joe Brady to the NFL. Okay. Steve Enzingmingers is still there, but Brady is gone. Okay, so that duo of working to attack defenses is changed now with Scott Linehan from the Dallas Cowboys now in to help with those offensive coordinator duties. Running back situation, they got it. They're going to have there's some veteran guys there that played and got a lot of what we call PT playing time, but the number 1 running back has gone on to the NFL. So what do you have? You have a guy who's going to log all those minutes at running back for those Tigers. Receiver, that is the glowing spot for them. The number 1 player in the nation, Fred Biletnikoff Award winner, Jamar Chase, who mossed and he had touchdowns over every big time cornerback in college football last year. He was all that in the bag of chips. He is Mr. Electric. He will be a first-round draft pick when he comes out. He'll probably be a top 3 pick because he encompasses everything you want in a receiver. 84 catches, almost 1,800 yards, but he had 20 touchdowns. Okay, 21 yards per average. Guys, those are astronomical numbers. So, yes, they do have the receiver, but now we got to find somebody to throw that ball to them. Offensive line, they got some journeymen, some guys that rotated in during the season. You know, they had Chasen Hines, Ed Ingram, and Austin McCulis that all rotated in during the season. But as far as logging the whole game and getting all the reps, they didn't do that. But one thing about when you've been successful, you won a national championship, you played in national championship games, there's a certain swagger and confidence about your ability to prepare for sudden change and prepare for your opponents. So those guys have that. Flipping on the defensive side of the ball, gone is Dave Aranda. He's going to be the head coach at Baylor. And now you have Bo Pelini, who's returning back to the Tigerland to be the defensive coordinator. He's going to install a 4-3 defense. And for them, you know, you have Tyler Shalen and Glenn Logan, who are coming back. Jabril Cox, transfer from North Dakota State, is coming in to insert at that inside backer position. He won a national championship on the FCS level with North Dakota State. But the man, the myth, the legend, this guy, Derek Stingley, Bobby, I think about you when I watch this guy play, even though he's really big and he is complete corner. Whatever coverage you want to play, he makes it happen. So they had 6 interceptions on the season, and might I add, they were in big games. Right. It wasn't playing a soft Division I team as the money game. This was big time teams. Okay, Jacoby Stevens, the top returning tackler in the secondary, is back. So what do you have, guys? You have a team that has won the national championship, but they're going to have to insert a lot of guys to replace those players that were part of that championship program. Now, I don't know if you all saw what I saw, but when I watched them play, and I've sat down since, there's nothing on TV, but ESPN running former games. I've watched how they played offensively, and LSU did not sub a lot of those skill guys in and out. Those guys played the whole game. So that tells you something, okay? Max Brennan has had less than 400 yards passing on the year. Well, there was a couple of games where they blew people out. So why he wasn't in the game, I know that, of course, Joe Burrow threw for 5,000 yards, and 50 touchdowns. So what I'm really saying in a nutshell, guys, is how much real, sincere playing time to be in a dogfight have some of these guys been in, okay? Your veteran starters are going to hold the rope for the team, as we call it. Coaches say, hold the rope. That means hold the team together while the young pups get it right. Okay? But now the guy that's going to be the gunslinger, and that is my common denominator for college football this fall, who showed me the quarterback with experience for that with that team, and I'll show you a team that is possibly going to play for a national championship or a conference championship and things of those nature. So with that being said, okay, LSU fans, I see it going down to 7-5. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a dogfight. But guess what? You got young Tigers ready to fill in. They just need the reps, and they're going to be fine. So yes, 15-0 last year. This year, 7-5. It's going to be tough, but you're still going to have the possibility to hurt some folks' feelings on Saturday afternoons around 6 o'clock.
Brother Butler.
Well, Coach, I think you hit it on the head. I think Coach Orgeron has done a great job there. He was on the coaching staff at Southern Cal when my son was out there years ago. So I really love him and was happy for him and the way they played last year. But just like you said, they got Steve Ensminger. He was on that team, the LSU Florida State. He was one of the quarterbacks in that game, by the way, that we showed when I played back in '79. Okay. He's a great offensive coordinator, but they're going to have some challenges. We get, like you said, we got a new guy, Miles Brennan. He's 6'4", he's about 210 pounds, tall, pocket passer. I don't know I don't know if he's like Joe, which nobody's going to be like Joe. Let's just say that right now. Joe is not considered a dual threat, but he was a dual threat, right?
He was, yeah.
Right. So this guy right here, I'm just hoping that, he's been waiting his time. So maybe he's ready to play, right? And so he's been in the system with Ensminger and, so maybe he's ready to play. Running backs with them, You got Chris Kerr, you got Terrion Davis-Price. Just like I say, dime a dozen running back. The wide receiver room, coach, you hit it on the head. These guys are stacked. Now, here's going to be what's important for me, right? You got the Biletnikoff winner and Jamar Chase, right? You got him. Also, you got Terrace Marshall coming back, who had 46 catches, 671 yards, and 13 TDs last season. So he's coming back, let's say, as a number 2. So what they really need a third receiver, right? Now, that young man out of Marietta High School is the real deal. I can see him fitting right in there right away, being like that third guy. I really can, because he's just not a tight end. Right. Yeah, I mean, he's everything. He's a modern day NFL tight end, right? And so he can catch the ball. He's a receiver type, right? So they're looking for that help, and I think they can find that in him. O-line, that's going to be another growing pain for them, I believe. They played some guys last year, but really they're only returning one true starter.
That's right.
Right? And so let's just say it. It's the SEC, it's LSU. They got to have some guys somewhere, right? And so giving them credit right there. So we'll see how their offense go. But their defense, coach, man, I mean, when I say brand new,
yes,
they lost everybody from a player standpoint. Now the defensive coordinator who ran a 3-4, multiple 3-4 defense, he's gone. Right. He's got the Baylor job. Now you're bringing up a guy who's in the past been a pretty good defense coordinator. He's coming back, Pelini, but he's changing the 3-4 to a 4-3, no spring practice. Ooh. Dude, this offseason has been horrendous for teams. Right. So no work. Everybody's new, right? The best thing they got going for them, coach, is Stingley. That's right. He's a monster, right? He's the best defensive back in the country. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I believe he is that. But just like I say, we don't build defenses from top down. We build defenses from what? Bottom up.
Bottom up.
And we got to have that D-line. We got to have that front seven doing what they do so that we can have some success in the secondary. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a front seven, I don't care who you are in the secondary. Right. You're going to get exposed, right? So let's just see how Coach Pelini come in and handle that situation. I'm kind of in agreement with you. You said 7-5. I'm looking at them, new quarterback, new O-line, basically, and the whole defense is in transition. Right. So I'm looking at them 8-4 at the best. That's my prediction. And the problem is, and here's the other problem. Here's the biggest problem they got. They open up with Texas, right? Ooh. That's an L, right? But then you're playing in the SEC West. Wow. So they're rebuilding. So I got them going 8-4, Vincent. That's the best I can see LSU this year. And 84 is not a bad year after you lost everything that you lost on this past season.
If you like the video today, please comment and share it. When I think about LSU, they had a magical season last year. There was no question about it. But let's be real here, gentlemen. The measuring stick was Roll Tide. Mm-hmm. That was the team they had to get over the hump. And I remember what Ed Orgeron said after the victory in the locker room. He said, we're going to out-recruit Alabama. We're going to beat them every year. I'm not going to use the other language. But they told me, you know what? Ed Orgeron was talking like, remember that rap group, the Hot Boys that had that song Bling Bling? They were bling blinging then. They had bling bling in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. Then they bling bling when they came here to Georgia Dome against Georgia. Yeah. Came back bling bling against Oklahoma. Ed Orgeron was bling blinging. The mouth was running. Then they won the national championship game, and he was bling blinging. But I must tell you, like how we do here at 100 Yards of Football. 1 year doesn't count. So Mr. Orgeron, and I give Coach Jones credit and the gentleman, Mr. Bobby Butler, credit for you to be realized as a powerhouse and a respectable program. You got to do it back to back. Like Roll Tide did it in 2011, 2012. Like when Brother Butler, when Florida State went undefeated in 79 and came back 11-1 the next year. So that being said, Can Miles Brenner bring Joe Burrow? Can he bling bling from the offensive standpoint? Can Scott Linehan be like Joe Brady, bling bling? We know what Jamar Chase can do. We know what Terrence Marshall can do. But remember this name, Brother Butler, that you've been bring up, Trey Palmer. Remember that name, Trey Palmer, and then go with the very special young man, Aaron Marietta. So what I'm saying, LSU ain't about going 8-4 and 9-3. Can you reload like Alabama does? Can you reload like Florida State did when Brother Butler was playing there? Defensively, LSU is going to be all right, Brother Butler. Remember, they signed one of the top linebackers in the transfer pool, Jabril Cox, who's a 3-time FCS Defensive Player of the Year and won 3 rings with North Dakota State. Right. He's already been slated in to be the middle linebacker. They're going to a 4-3, no question about it. Right. But that's going to make Tyler Shelvin a better player. That's going to make Glenn Logan a better player. And Brother Butler, I'm so surprised, man. Matter of fact, I'm mad at you because you didn't bring up this young man who played at IMG Academy, Elias Ricks, 6'3", 185 pounds. And I'm mad at you too, Coach Jones. Y'all ain't mentioned nothing about him. And I heard he played at IMG Academy last year, which is supposed to be the type high school program in the country. Right. I heard he shut everybody down. Like glove, like we say in the 901. He gloved them up. Right. And he going to be on the other side of Derek Stingley. Hey, man, LSU is going to be fine on offense because if LSU is going to be that program, I don't want to hear about you taking a step back, Ed Orgeron, because you was bling-blinging in that locker room after I beat Bama. You said you're going to beat Bama on a continuous basis. You said y'all going to be the top of the SEC West. Well, it's your time right now to see what you had as a coach. Because last year, that's over with. That's how we do it here on 100 Yards Football. Ain't it right, brothers?
That's right. That's over. That's right.
It's over with.
Finished.
2020. So that being said, LSU has got talent. I think they got a special football team, but can Miles Brenner beat Joe Burrow? And can them 2 coordinators that they have, Scott Linehan and Bo Pelini, can they beat Joe Brady and Dave Aranda? So that being said, Coach Jones, you got the last word. Anything you want to say what I just said?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the kid from IMG and Bobby, you know, this is how I feel because I'm the coach in me. He didn't get a chance to play against the grown men in spring practice. So the reason why we didn't bring his name up yet is because he hasn't done anything in front of the grown people that were already on the team. Now, when he starts making plays against the grown people that are already on the team, then he definitely gets one of those, you know, checks that says, hey, listen, you know, at the end of the day, until you've done it, and Bobby would agree, it's all called potential.
Brother Butler, anything you want to say before I signed off with LSU?
And I'm going to say amen to that, Coach Jones, because I'm going to tell you something. It's a night and day.
That's right.
When you go from high school until you start playing Division I college football, bruh, they are grown men in there. Think about this now. Think about this. Think about this. And when you said 6'3", 185, I started laughing because my son was that way when he left Norcross High and went to Southern Cal and was doing pretty good, Vincent, until one day he called me and I could tell something was wrong. He said, Dad, I got manhandled today. He said, this corner came up and played bump around with me and just mauled me at the line. And so I started laughing because the guy was a 6-year player at Southern Cal. He was 23 years old, playing against a 185-pound 18-year-old. So there's a lot to be said for that. And so true freshmen coming in, especially Vincent, without spring practice, I got to wait and see on that. But these guys are going to be good in the future, no doubt about it.
That being said, if you like the video today, please come in and share as we broke down LSU. But that being said, I'm still loving my man, Elias Ricks. Remember that name? God bless.